Happy Friday, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to Cronkite Sports Now. On today's edition, we bring you all things football. A lot of football. As ASU heads to the Bay, we look at Herm Edwards' legacy that still stands at Cal, how a pair of ASU kickers came to rep the maroon and gold, and the Seahawks fly into the Valley as the Cardinals look for their first win of the season. These stories and more coming your way on Cronkite Sports Now. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brady Klain, and thanks for joining us for this edition of Cronkite Sports Now. Today's stories touch on football from all angles. First, let's head out to Berkeley, where our very own Scotty Gange and Rob Werner get us ready for tonight's ASU Cal Showdown.
All right, so following the first loss of the 2019 season, the Arizona State Sun Devils and me and this guy travel up to Northern California. Rob Werner, Scotty Gange, here for the ASU game against Cal. Number 15 ranked Cal. What do we expect to see tonight?
Yeah, this Cal team features an offensive attack led by quarterback Chase Garbus. He had 357 yards and 4 touchdowns to 1 interception last week. His best game of his young career. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Evan Weaver, Cal senior linebacker. He had 22 tackles last week. He leads the Pac-12 in tackles. He's all over the field. I expect him to do the same tonight.
The 4-0 California Golden Bears, Jaden Daniels, the true freshman quarterback who led ASU to 31 points last week. He's got a heck of a competition and a challenge tonight. And Rob, it's a little chilly outside. The wind's kind of getting me, but I think the Sun Devils will be just okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be a 7:30 kickoff. We'll both be there. And for Scotty Gange, I'm Rob Werner in San Francisco, Cronkite News.
Thanks, guys. Sticking with ASU football, in 1974, current ASU head coach Herm Edwards set a defensive record that still stands at Cal with 4 interceptions in a single game. You see here, Herm, look at this now. Herm's going to jump the route with his first of 4 interceptions, taking it to the house for a pick 6 in the middle of the first quarter to put Cal up 14-7. Herm now going to be at the bottom of your screen. He's going to be defending a deep post here against the Washington State receiver. Now watch this. He's going to go up, snag the ball out of the air for his second interception of the game. Cal defense loving it. We're going to switch over again to defense. Herm now lining up in the safety position in the middle of the screen. He's going to drop back into coverage, and he's going to high point the ball. You'll see it right here for interception number 3 on the game. Cal defense, once again, loving it. There's no such thing as too many interceptions. Now we're going to see it here for his final interception. Herm at the top of the screen will drop back into deep coverage and will snag number 4. Falls right into the breadbasket for a record that stands at the University of California, where his Arizona State Sun Devils will play for the first time in his coaching career tonight. Staying on the topic of the Sun Devils, to learn that living up to a family legacy isn't light work. But there are a couple of special players on this Arizona State football team that aren't pinned back by it.
As a 64-yard punt launched off the leg of Michael Turk in his first game for ASU, coaches knew they had a lethal weapon on their hands.
He's a talented player, and he has a good background with punting, obviously, with his bloodline, and he's an outstanding young man.
What bloodlines? Well, the legs are strong with the Turk family. Michael's brother Ben punted at Notre Dame, and his uncle Matt punted in the NFL for 17 seasons.
Well, I can't say enough about how they've helped me, obviously, with my punting, and I lived with my uncle in high school, so just both of them are I look up to both of them as almost like guardian figures.
Michael took a year off after high school to train with his uncle and learn how to punt from a pro. Michael eventually earned a spot at Lafayette College, where he had a breakout season. Matt made many connections during his time in the NFL, 2 of which are on ASU's coaching staff. He played for now ASU coach Herm Edwards and was in the NFL at the same time as Slocum. So when Michael was looking for a bigger opportunity, Matt reached out to an old friend.
When Matt called me and said, hey, I've got my nephew, he's a pretty good punter, I'd like you to take a look at him, and that's where it all began.
Michael transferred to ASU but had to redshirt his sophomore season due to NCAA rules. During that time, he fine-tuned his craft, and when it was time to take the field again, he was ready. Michael was named the Pac-12 Special Teams Player of the Week after his ASU debut, where he averaged 63 yards per punt on 5 attempts, shattering the NCAA record. Michael's family has helped him prepare for these big moments, but it's up to him to perform.
Our family, we're blessed to have them, but we're going to have to go out in the field and do our own thing.
Turk says he doesn't feel the pressure of his preseason recognitions or his family name. His only focus is having a consistent season for the Sun Devils. However, he isn't the only legacy leg on this team. For more on that, let's kick it over to Matt Roy.
The name Zendejas is all over the ASU facility. Luis Zendejas, that is. The legendary Sun Devil was the greatest kicker in ASU history until all of his records got broken just a few years ago. Now, his son Christian is trying to make his own way in an ASU uniform.
They actually never pushed me into even kicking. I played soccer my entire life, probably for the past 10 years. Just made my way that way. My dad helped me every step of the way.
While there was no pressure to play football, Luis was concerned about the effect his ASU legacy might have on his son.
Yes, I was worried that that would probably make him try too hard to do something because of the name, not so much because of Christian. He just loves the football and the football family. And then the rest is like, Dad, I'm not going anywhere else but ASU. That's my son. He's always known.
Christian walked on to ASU in 2017 and has served as the backup kicker for 2 seasons. Now in his 3rd year, Christian is getting his shot because starting kicker Brandon Reese went down with an injury before the first game.
You never know how a young man's going to respond until he gets in a moment.
Christian responded by not missing a single kick through the first 3 weeks and earning Pac-12 Special Teams Player of the Week honors after the 2nd game.
I'm not surprised. I mean, he works extremely hard and has got a great foundation for what he's doing.
I just put my head down and worked, and then opportunity came. I've been waiting for the last 3 years, and I'm excited.
I'm in the getting.
After all of his hard work, Christian was recently awarded a full scholarship.
He loves the coaches, loves the trainers, loves everything about ASU, that when you have that, he's home. That's what I feel like, he's home.
In Tempe, I'm Matthew Roy.
And I'm Brady King.
Cronkite News.
To the pros, the Cardinals are set to host their first division game of the season as the Seahawks fly into State Farm Stadium for an NFC East showdown. Cliff and the Cards know they can always count on a tough test from Russell Wilson and the Hawks.
A very good football team, as always. It seems like they just reload every year, and Russell is Russell and continues to make a ton of plays with his legs and his arm, and the receiving core has stepped up after losing Baldwin, and then defensively they have that culture there, and they play hard and they play physical, and so it'll be a heck of a challenge for us.
We close today's show with 2 local fighters looking for the finish abroad. Former UFC lightweight champion Benson Henderson takes on Miles Jury in tonight's main event of Bellator Dublin from the 3 Arena in Ireland. Then heads to Copenhagen to be in teammate Jared Cannonier's corner as he headlines the UFC in Denmark against Jack Hermanson on ESPN Plus Saturday morning at 11. Both fighters have trained together out of Glendale's MMA lab in preparation for this week's bouts for this weekend. That does it for today's edition of Cronkite Sports Now. For Arizona sports stories from around the valley, visit the Cronkite Sports tab on arizonasports.com. And as always, for top news stories, head over to our website at cronkitenews.azpbs.org. And be sure to tune in tonight at 5 p.m. on Arizona PBS for our nightly newscast. On behalf of the entire Cronkite Sports Now crew, thanks for joining us and enjoy this weekend's games.